how much of an impact did your dad have in your careers growing up?
He didn't need to teach us. We just needed to see what he was doing.
So when you went on that journey, you got released
At 15.
How difficult is that moment?
Obviously, I cried. Like, I'm 15 years old. It hurt.
That Man City move, them taking you in, how pivotal was that?
The turning point.
What would you say is your proudest moment in a City shirt?
Most probably scoring my first ever goal.
First one.
Just iconic to me.
He's first for Manchester City.
How close were you to signing for Arsenal?
It couldn't have got any closer.
Then you signed for Chelsea.
I didn't ever think I was going to leave.
So it wasn't actually your decision to go to Chelsea?
When a club's going to sell you, they're going to sell you. But once it's done, my focus is Chelsea. Training was that intense that Mourinho pulled us in and said he's thinking about making us wear shin pads.
What was your best moment in an England shirt?
To score on your debut, just for me, it felt like I've arrived in many ways.
Oh, what a goal on his debut.
And I just remember like how nice Bex was to me.
What was that experience like under Capello at 2010 South Africa?
We weren't allowed to have a Coke after a game or couldn't have ketchup. Then all of a sudden, after the first game, obviously we didn't win it, he's offering us wine.
Wow. Who is the best on a night out?
You just don't expect him to do the things that he did.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry Unfiltered with myself, Adam Smith, alongside me. Delighted to get this man in the studio. He is a man that's won the Premier League, the Football League First Division, two-time FA Cup winner, Community Shield winner as well, 36 caps, 6 goals for England. The legend that is Shaun Wright-Phillips. Shaun, did you like that intro, mate?
It weren't bad so much, to be fair. It was all right.
Do you know what I love off camera? I double-check that like I always do because we go back quite a while. And I said, 36 caps, 6 goals? I think so. He goes, who's counting? I wasn't. I would definitely be counting if I played for England.
No, because you're hoping, for me, I never counted because I didn't want to get stuck in that mindset of like, right, I've played one, I've played another. I wanted to just play as many times as possible for England, and that's just kind of the way I looked at it.
Love it. I'm quite excited about this because we're going to chat a lot about you had an amazing career and what you're doing now and everything. We're going to talk Beckham, Mourinho, Lampard. There's so many stories I don't think you have told, so I'm really looking forward to getting into it. Let's start with your childhood growing up because your football family is pretty unbelievable, isn't it? Your brother's a pro, your dad's obviously Ian Wright, yourself. I mean, tell me about that sort of growing up. Were you just always playing football the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. Me and my brother, to be fair. Obviously with dad, he had his career going on, and obviously when him and mum do break up, it's just me, Bradley and mum. So me and Bradley our mum would send us to the shop to get stuff for her to make dinner, and the shop would be 5 minutes away, and it would take us 45 minutes because we would take a football with us everywhere we went. Really? And on the way there, we'd create games to play. Like there was like a little walkway in South London in Brockley where I grew up, and it was called like Chelwood Walk because it's like right by a nursery, and we used to just have 2 balls and see if we can kick the ball to the end of it without it touching either side of the wall.
So keeping it up.
Without just pass it without it touching either side.
Wow. So
we would just make up random games, and mum used to go mad at us because she's like, I need you to go and get
Where are you?
Sort of thing.
Need the chicken.
You ain't come back. And because then you didn't have mobile phones really, did you, at that age?
Yeah.
So it's not like they could phone you and say like,
so she'd be like, where are you?
Danger. Yeah. She just had to wait for us to come back.
I love that.
So we just created games, whether it was that, whether it was using, you had a shooting cancel flat. We used to use that as and play squash with our feet with the ball. So we're all self-taught, which is the strangest thing.
That's amazing, that. So how much of an impact did your dad have in your careers growing up? Was he like coaching you regularly? Was it not? When you say you're self-taught, you did it yourself? You had your dad's help? How did that sort of work?
Yeah,
in the nature v nurture type
debate.
We
pretty much did it ourselves. I think people underestimate the feel or the vision of, say, your dad, he plays football. Like that's a doorway opened. And that is another avenue for you or your brother or any child to go. Yeah. He's opened so many doorways for so many kids from South London. And me and Bradley, in many ways, had it right in front of us. And he didn't need to teach us. We just needed to see what he was doing. And it kind of just grew into it. And the more we played football, in the summer, our mum would have to call us in at like 9 because we'd be playing from the morning till it got dark. We'd just be playing FA knockouts, or Wembley as some people call it, and between 2 trees, and you never want to go in goal, do you? So the idea is to score as quick as possible because then you get longer rest than everybody else rather than tie the next round. So we just did that literally all the time.
I love that you said your mum, it was the era of no phones as well, so she must be like, where are these 2 kids? Like, what are they doing?
Just shout off the balcony and we just knew it was
time to go home.
Yeah, dinner's ready.
Do you remember your dad's career? Were you living through that? Like what age did you realise that your dad was, let's have it right, your dad's an absolute legend, right? What age did you realise how much of a legend he was?
More so now.
Really?
As weird as it sounds, more so now.
What do you mean by that?
Because when we was younger and we went to games, or especially when we was at Crystal Palace, we was lucky enough to, when Steve Coppell was the manager, we was lucky enough to sometimes be at the Crystal Palace training ground and see it all happen. We didn't, like when he was at Arsenal, it was always a little bit harder to do stuff like that. But I think more so now in terms of, because there's not many players you can say that have retired that cover all generations. Like you look at players, and my age will know him, and maybe a little bit underneath, but I know players, like kids that are 10 that know about my dad's career, which doesn't always happen.
That's interesting.
So I think you see the magnitude of how big he is now more than I would say per se then.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
I pay more attention now as well.
Do you think your dad was a trailblazer? Because it's interesting you say that. Like, obviously his career, it was a fascinating career, wasn't it? He sort of did it the slow, hard way. He came through quite late. Obviously, personality-wise, role model-wise, everyone seemed, even like rival fans love Ian Wright, don't they? Do you feel like he was a trailblazer?
Yeah, in many ways you can say that. I just think he's what I think in many ways, like especially football fans, want to see in a player. In terms of passion, fight, goals, the way he celebrated these goals just brought joy to everybody. And I think even now, since he's retired, he still, in many ways, brings joy to a lot of football fans just by his punditry.
His personality, What's he like as a dad? I imagine he's always happy, always positive. Is he always positive the whole time, just to be around?
For me, he's been an amazing dad. And I think Bradley would say the same. I think when we've needed him, he's been there. Majority of the time he isn't serious, but if it's serious, if it is a serious conversation, it gets dealt with in a serious way. And he's just always been, like I said, like a very good role model. Like along with obviously our mums for us has been key. Of course. But I mean, in terms of football, like he's been massive for us.
Yeah, and his relationship with Roy Keane as well is something that I think a lot of fans quite like watching, right?
I think nobody saw it coming.
I know, you surprised at that,
Yeah, no, I was surprised, but it makes sense. I think because they're both very outspoken people. They both understand each other's vibe, and it wouldn't surprise me if they have a little argument every now and again as well, because they're both very strong-minded people as well. But they get on really well. It's really cool to see. How
challenging was it? I imagine you had a lot of positivity having your dad to help open doors, but is there also a lot of pressure because of who your dad was when you know that you've got a bit in your locker and you might be turning pro? Do you feel that pressure as well?
When I say open doors, I mean the door he gave us, like light at the end of the tunnel, right, in terms of belief that you can make it as a footballer coming from South London, and obviously being black. It wasn't always easy growing up, and he made that possible. But in terms of that way, he always wanted me and Bradley to create and make our own paths within football. And like I found out even with minds that sometimes when you're teaching a kid, you're teaching them the way you see the game and the way you want to play. But they might see the game completely different. Now, if you don't let them experience or try and express that motion to see the game the way they see it and see how they progress, you kind of making them a player how you're molding them to the way you want to see them rather than them walking their own path. So he taught us to walk our own path. If he saw things in our games, like I remember first game he came to, I was at Turnham Primary School and we had a thing. I think you might have seen the video clip that he put out, Do the Right Thing. And there's this, it's just an old school show, but you see me when I was like, I think I was like maybe 9, 10, just dribbling, not passing to anyone. And that was the first time he said to me, you know you're playing with, you've got a team, pass the ball to them as well. And I said, they don't pass it back. So
I'm not passing to them.
Yeah, that was like the first learning curve for me in terms of like understanding that it's a team game. You can't do it all by yourself sort of thing.
But when you got your level of ability, I bet you probably thought I can dribble around the whole team here.
No, just entertaining. Yeah. Like I heard someone, I think it was Semenyo said it the other day after his game when it like, wingers are there. It sounds weird to entertain, to get bums off seats.
I know what you mean by
like,
that.
when you're going at people, you're entertaining. Like Estival came on, as soon the anticipation you could hear in the crowd, and even me watching the game, I'm like, or what's he going to do now?
Yeah, it's a position where you get the fans off the seats, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's kind of the player I wanted to be all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to excite people.
So when you went on that journey, you got released, I think I'm right in saying, at the age of 17 by Forest?
15.
15. How difficult is that moment? And do you think at that point you're not going to make it as a footballer?
That whole saga, the way it all happened was, for me, just strange in general. And I think even to this day, if it happened to a kid, I would think it was strange and it could have been handled a lot different or in a better way.
Right.
Because before I got on the train on the way back with Marlon Harewood, I was under the pretenses that they had said yes. They were going to sign me. And then the call came when I was on the train on the way back and said, we've decided we're not going to sign you. You're too small. You're not good enough. Obviously, I cried. Like, I'm 15 years old. It hurt. Like, it's normal. It's going to hurt. But that was, for me, I would say, my first mental challenge of how harsh a game football can be emotionally and mentally.
At a young age as well.
At such a young age. And lucky I had a good scout at the time, like Kieran Rafferty, who looked after Marlon Harewood as well. Man City contacted him, and within 24 hours, 48 hours, I was back on the train to Manchester for a week. And like, in many ways, the rest is history. But it was a harsh lesson, but it prepared me for the football career to come after. I think in terms of dealing with, say, the squad rotation, that didn't exist. But when I moved from Man City, it does exist.
Well, how brutal it can be, competition for places and stuff. Because everyone wants to be a footballer, right?
Yeah, football is a harsh world, and there's just as many downs as there are ups, and you have to be able to deal with those things. Football's not just always plain sailing, and although people think it is, it's not.
Do you think that's an issue, a wider issue with like people that don't make it from academies now? Like how few, the percentage chance of making it as a professional footballer with the competition for places? Like, do you worry about the kids that do get released and then spend their whole childhood trying to be a footballer and it doesn't happen?
I worry about the kids that do get released that have all the pressure from their families to make it professional. I think that pressure at such a young age that is just pushed on you in terms of like, because you do, it's only normal. You have parents that push their kids into football because of the life it can bring, and everybody can be taken care of. But that kid feels that pressure in a different way in terms of, I've let everybody down rather than I've let myself down. He's now let another 15 people down. Yeah. And what does he do? If he's not mentally strong enough to get back on that bike and ride and try again, he could struggle in life completely. So Mum always just said, like, if you fall over, what do? You get back up and you try again. And that was how me and Bradley got brought up. So for me, when I did get released, that's basically what after I had the cry, my mindset was, all right, let's go again. Like, you're obviously good enough, otherwise you wouldn't be at Forest to start with. Now, can you kick on again and can you improve? And that was my mindset. With that said, how big were Man City when you look back on your whole career? You played for England, you won Premier Leagues, FA Cups. That Man City move, them taking you in, how pivotal was that in your whole career, would you say? The turning point. I would say, to the magnitude of it was the turning point, and that molded me into, even now, the person I am to this moment, to the person today. You are, not the player. Yeah, I think because even when I signed for City at that young age, there was still like setback, because I was like, I must have been 4'6" or 4'8". Yeah. I'm not much taller now. Before you say, I'm not much taller now. But I'm sitting like this because if I can't, my feet, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable because I'm too little, isn't it? So, but what a guy. Yeah, so I still had my setbacks coming through the academy. Like, I had to learn because everybody was way bigger than me. So they were playing for like the under 18s. And even if I was playing better than them, because they were protecting me because of my size, it started to affect me. I was speaking to the manager, why can't I go over there? And he would explain, like, Alex Gibson and Frankie Bum, your time will come, just kind of be a little bit more patient. And I just still worked hard, just carried on working hard. And then it happened so quickly. It was unreal. I played a little bit in the under 18s at the time it was, and then went to reserves, had a game there, and then I played in a testimonial within like a year and a half. And the next thing I know, I was just in and around the first team all the time. I just never played in the academy again. So, and like, even now when I speak to other young kids, I'm saying you have to be ready all the time, because football changes so quickly.
And is it a case of you never know when your debut, you've got an inkling, but you never know actually when your debut is going to come, so you've got to be prepared for that?
Yeah, no, you don't. You honestly don't. Like, because somebody could just get injured.
Yeah.
And the backup they choose is a 17-year-old rather than, like, look at Max Dowman.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't expect his debut to come the way it's come, but it's come, and now he's in the first team squad.
Yeah, unbelievable talent, by the way. Yeah, how were you when you realised it was your debut time? The first time you made your debut for Man City's first team, how were you feeling?
It was in the testimonial, but I didn't know. He said he's just going to bring me to a testimonial. Joe Rowe and Willie Donachie and Asa Hartford said they're just going to bring me to testimonial just to get me some experience around the first team. And it was at Old Trafford as well, which was massive then. That was when it was the real theatre of dreams. And so I said, no. So I came. And then when I got to the dressing room, it was like,
nervous?
We've decided we're going to put you on the bench.
Yeah.
And then I was just chilled as I am.
You know
chilled.
me.
You know me quite well.
Guy. Yeah, I do know you were.
And then half time come and said, all right, you're going on. So I was like, what do you mean?
So the nerves hit down? Come on, be honest.
So he said,
what do you
going
mean?
on? I said, okay, I guess. Just after I said, what do you mean? I was just like, all right, let's just run with it. And like, I remember my best mate Lee was calling me after, and he was like, I was phoning you all through the game. Why didn't you tell me? I said, I didn't know. And anyway, why are you calling me? If you're watching me play football on the TV, why are you phoning me?
Yeah.
And I remember getting on the pitch and like, just as like when I was a kid in Do the Right Thing, I went on that mazy run and scored. I did the exact same thing in that testimonial when I didn't score, but I went on the mazy run, got all the way to the 6-yard box against Barthez.
Wow.
And instead of just putting it in there, I tried to chip him. And he just stood up and caught it like this. And when I went in the change room, Joe Rowe and Willie Donachie, I just remember them laughing at me.
Really?
Because they're saying, what was you thinking? Why didn't you just score? I said, I just thought he was going to go down. So I thought I would just chip him. But for me, even that was another learning curve.
Yeah.
Because I've tried to chip a goalkeeper that hasn't even gone down yet.
Yeah.
So now when I play in other games and I have chipped the goalkeeper, I've seen him go down before I've chipped it, sort of thing. So like you're always learning in the game, which is for me the most important part.
How do you reflect on your time at Man City? Do you look back with positive memories with like the players you played with, the fact they gave you a breakthrough? Is that a club you have really high memories of playing for?
Massive memories for me. It's always been my second home. Yeah. Like I class the fans in the club like that is my family. Like, and people always say, why come you don't support Arsenal? And I'm like, well, if anything, why would I support Arsenal? I would support Crystal Palace, if anything, because that's where Dad started. And I've just, when I went there at 16, just to see when we was training at 16, all the fans crowding around Platt Lane, like just looking through the fence, watching the kids train. Yeah. And I was like, I can kind of get behind this club. And obviously they got relegated to Division 2 the year I signed. So in many ways, it was a perfect time for me to support a team, if that made sense. That was a team I fell in love with, and that is a team. But in terms of, for me, it was massive. Joe Rowe, Jim Cassell, Asa, Frankie Bunn, Alex Gibson, like in my career, like they played, like they tailored me to be ready to kind of break through. And even when I came on against Port Vale for my actual debut, the way he just said, go out and enjoy yourself.
Brilliant.
Like he just basically said, we've seen you play before. You wouldn't be here and the players wouldn't give you the ball all the time if they didn't trust you. So now go kind of show what you can do. And when you have conversations like that, the pressure kind of slides away. You don't really think about the pressure. You're like, it kind of brings you back to your childhood playing football with your friends, and that's kind of how I treated it. Like I'm just playing with a set of different friends and I'm just going to do the same thing.
Is Man City your team then? Is that the first team results you look for? You class yourself as a Man City fan?
Yeah. For years and years now. Like, my cousins don't like it, but...
Fair enough. They're United fans.
Arsenal
fans, right, okay. And what would you say is your best moment in a Man City shirt? I remember you scoring an iconic goal against United. Is there one moment? What would you say is your proudest moment in a City shirt?
Do you know what? Most probably scoring my first ever goal.
First one. So many players say that.
Do you know what it was?
First game or first goal?
When the year I actually broke through, believe it or not, the amount of shots I had that either went wide or the keeper saved or
tried to chip the keeper
or it hit the post. I didn't score for the first whole season. Like, and it just wouldn't. I kept trying. I kept knocking on the door. It just wouldn't go in. Yeah. And then I remember City and Millwall fans just never got on. Like they hate each other to a point that they got themselves both banned from each other's stadium. And my first ever goal came at the Den, and there were no City fans there.
Wow.
So that kind of like that whole build up around it, and then for the time that I actually score a goal, no City fans to be in the stadium, like kind of like just iconic to me. It just felt right, and it just happened.
That's interesting. That in terms of you got relegated with City. Talk to me about how difficult that is, and like practically what happens to a football club. I mean, do you see players be moved on? Do you see like canteen workers, staff workers lose jobs? Like, what are the practicalities of relegation? How tough is it on a club, maybe behind the scenes, that we don't see?
In many ways, it kind of depends the club situation at the time. For City at the time, they didn't really had to get rid of staff. The people that were running the club at that specific time had enough money to keep that certain things going. Of course, certain players change and things like that. But in general, like the club was still run the same because I think they had in a view that they were going to come back up. So they could take that year.
They could prepare for that.
Prepare for that sort of thing. And that's what I felt like they did. But in terms of like players, it's so hard. Like mentally, even when the season's going on, like there's games where you're actually playing well. But when you're in that ruck down there, you could be playing well for the best part of 60 minutes, can't score a goal. They go down the other end and it's like it's
one chance,
1-0 and it's game over. And you felt that would happen a lot when you're down there. And mentally it's so challenging because you need to get out of that position. You need to put a run of like 2-3 games together to like pick up 9 points back off the back. And then you can not walk away from it, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But when you're like drawing, or you might get the odd win in 4 games, so like you're fighting a losing battle. And it becomes harder and harder. And to go down, it's devastating, not only for you, just to see the fans' faces as well.
Is that the hardest thing?
Yeah, because it's not that you're not trying, like you're giving 110%.
Did you see like grown men crying, don't you?
Like, and you think, man, I've just not only let myself down, but look, there's like 30-odd thousand people here that come in every week. So it does take its toll on you. Yeah.
You signed for Chelsea in an era where Chelsea were spending unbelievable amounts of money on incredible players. What was the reason you went to Chelsea? And were there other clubs in for you at the time, or was it always about Chelsea once you heard they wanted you?
I didn't, if I'm all honest, I didn't plan to leave Man City.
Didn't you?
I thought as a naive kid, you think you can just, if you love a club, you feel like you can just stay there forever.
Did you? You felt like that was your club forever?
Yeah, I didn't ever think I was going to leave. And then I heard that Arsenal were interested.
How close were you to signing for Arsenal?
Close. Like
Very
it couldn't
close.
have got any closer.
Couldn't have got any closer?
Yeah.
So did you think at one point you were going to sign for Arsenal?
That's when it first all originated and opened up. That was, Chelsea wasn't involved at the time. Chelsea were only involved when Arsene basically said, look, we're going to leave it till January. I want to see him a bit more.
So you had Arsenal in for in the summer, you thought it was a done deal, and then they wanted to wait for January. But did you still think you would sign for Arsenal in January?
No, because Chelsea had come in by then.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
And Chelsea had come in with the price that City just said yes to.
Yeah, fine.
And even when they said yes, I basically said to my agent, well, I'm happy where I am.
Did you?
I thought I could make the decision.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of fans don't understand. When a club's going to sell you, they're going to sell you. So
it wasn't actually your decision to go to Chelsea. It was the club's decision to sell you because the price point was right.
Not just the price point. The club would have gone into administration.
Oh, fine. Okay.
So they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they could turn around and be like, he's not for sale.
So where's your head at that point where you're happy at City? There's factors outside of your control. I understand there's finances at play. You think you're going to Arsenal, then you're not going to Arsenal, you're staying at City, then you sign for Chelsea. You're obviously moving house. There's all the logistical side. Where's your head at through all that period?
Confusion. But once it's done, like my focus is Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like there was a game, can't remember the game, I think it might have been Macclesfield. And we got to the stadium and Dickoff and Golter and a few of the other senior players said, you can't play in this game. Like, you have to go. We know you don't want to go, but you kind of have to go. And before I knew it, there was a car waiting outside for me.
Really?
And then I was in a car straight.
Is that because you had to be sold for the finances of City? Wow.
So I just got in a car and just went to London, had the medical, Next thing
Wow.
I was signing. It happened like really, really quickly.
So yours, the senior players, good lads as well, by the way,
Yeah.
Shaun and Paul, are basically saying you have to go because to help City out effectively.
And it's a chance in a lifetime.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity. As much as I didn't want to go, like I knew the scope of it. I understood that it's a massive club.
Yeah.
I knew what was there and what they was doing.
Mhm.
And because I'd played against them.
Yeah.
So I got it. But at the same time, when you're happy, it's like you're happy in this place. Like, you know, where you live, you're happy. Do I have to really move?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have an option, do you?
I know what you mean.
Yes.
It's amazing hearing that side about how little players, like they say sometimes, not all the time, but in your situation, there was so many other people making decisions for your career effectively.
Yeah, that's kind of like, you think about it, that's kind of the way a lot of football was. That
Do you think that happens now though? Or do you think players have more power now?
I think players have way more power now. And sometimes I think it's good, but then sometimes I don't think it's the right way. No, there's two sides of every coin, isn't there, really? So in elements of it, I do get it. And then other elements, then I'm like, with too much powers, then clubs become, in many ways, just as powerful as the manager or the club.
Yeah.
Whereas I just know managers, whether you like them or not, if your manager's asking you to do something,
you do it.
That's what you're meant to do. Do you know what I mean? In any job. And sometimes you see in football, it doesn't really happen like that.
Yeah. So you're at Chelsea. Mourinho, come on, talk to me about Jose. What was he like to play under?
For me, he was unbelievable.
Is he the best manager you ever played for?
Yeah, I have like, for different times in my career, I have elements of best managers, and they're not always going to be like the same per se. But when my time at Chelsea, Mourinho, I thought he was unbelievable. I think I know a lot of people did, and a lot of people I hear him say he was arrogant. I think that for me was all a facade for,
for
the cameras and to protect these players.
Wow. So what's he like off camera then? Is he very different to what we see on camera?
One lovely human being.
Really?
Like because obviously I was a single dad at the time and my kids lived in Manchester. So when they came down to me, didn't really believe in babysitters too much. So when I was training, he would tell me just bring him into the training ground.
Really?
Yeah. And my son, he would say, your daughter can stay with my secretary in the office, and she would just draw with her, have a laugh with her. And my son, he would say, yeah, bring him outside, let him watch football. And I remember a training session where we're training, and obviously the gaffer's got his notebook, he's doing his notepad, and he sees my son, and he's still watching training, but he's playing football with my son at the same time.
Wow.
And then when I went to QPR and we played Chelsea and Mourinho was there the second time, first thing he said to me when he come up, he said, how's your boy doing? Like, for me, that's just genuine.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise you don't ask things like that.
Yeah.
And that's the person I always knew when I was there. And you got to trust in your manager. You're playing for a manager. I feel like I trusted in him. Of course, as a footballer, you want to play way more. But look at the competition. It wasn't an easy
wide
challenge
players you
for
had then.
any of
You
us.
have Damien Duff, Robin, Joe Cole, yourself. That's a lot of competition for places, that, isn't it?
And it's good competition. We all got on like a house on fire.
Did you?
Yeah, when none of us argued with each other. And whichever one, although we was upset, whichever one of us started, we all wanted that person to do well because we knew it benefited the
Probably
team.
why the team was so successful.
Yeah, it benefited the team.
It's a nice touch hearing that as well, because when it's your kids as well, that obviously hits home more, right? Especially if you're single dad moving to London. That must have been challenging. So for him to do that, it's I imagine you got a lot from him as a person there. So going back to what you said, when we see him on camera, do you think a lot of what he does is, you think, in your words, it's portraying an image to protect his players then?
I think so, yeah. I think he was always premeditated. Like, it's almost like he knew what questions were coming from who. And the way he answered them was all like when he says he's a special one. All the pressure's gone off the team now. Everyone's focused on him.
Great point.
No matter what we've done wrong or done right, like, nobody's talking about Chelsea. Everybody's focused. Even the next day in the paper, he says he's a special one. It's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whereas now, a lot of focus is like, I think Pep tries it. I think Slot does it a bit as well. Like, they try and remove the pressure because there's enough pressure. They don't need any more pressure. They don't need any more scrutiny. So if managers can take that flack, I think he was good at it.
Where do you think he ranks in terms of greatest ever managers?
You have to put him up there. Yeah. Because of what he's done. I think if you don't, it's in a way, you're just being a hater. Like, you don't come to Chelsea and do what he done. People say he bought the league. Yeah, but you can spend as much money as you want. Yeah. If you're not a good manager, you're not going to win the league. Yeah. His tactics still have to be right. They say he shut up shop or parked the bus. So did he? With 4 of possibly the best wingers in the Premier League at the time, among obviously others with Thierry and everybody else there. There was a lot of other wingers, but he's got players to win games.
What was he like in terms of like when you'd won a league and stuff and away from football? Is he a laugh as well?
Yeah. He had fun.
Did you have nights out with him?
No.
Never had a night out with him?
No.
So he wouldn't come on a night out with the boys?
No, I don't think.
At the end of a season?
I don't think managers should do that.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, to be honest.
Really good point.
That's like
you know what I mean? After
line.
you win a league or something, you do see players go out for celebrations, have a drink. I wonder if you've ever seen him let his hair down.
When you do win the league, you have your own party. So the manager will be there. But they don't.
He's not on the dance floor doing the robot or anything like that.
Nights out are different because that's nights out for us was player bonding, which at Chelsea we did whenever we could get the time. We were all together. There would be like 10 of us out.
Go on, what's the best night out you've had at Chelsea then? Any that you can divulge?
One of my birthday parties.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing like that?
Because the rest of it loose lip sync ships, isn't it? So the rest of it stays in house. But like because I had a thing, my family's quite big.
Yeah.
So when I was playing, because they didn't get to see me that much.
Yeah.
Whenever it was my birthday, I always made sure I did like a private birthday party, which whatever team I was at, all the team members were.
So you had a private birthday party at Chelsea?
Yeah.
Where was it? Can you give us any info about this as well?
Well, my friends did it and they used to run clubs at the time, and it was in a place, there was a nightclub called Trap.
Right.
Just around the corner from like the Sanderson, just down that further down there. And that's where it was held in.
Okay.
But the name was different when it was held. I can't.
You're not giving any info. All right then, I'll just ask you this. Who is the best on a night out? Best footballer on a night out?
Yeah, what? It was best on a night out.
Yeah, like who do you want on a night out? If you're at Chelsea, you got the whole squad there. Who do you want to come out on a night out? Who's the biggest laugh, would you say?
I'd surely say Vincent Kompany.
Vincent Kompany?
Yeah.
Of all the players you play with, is the biggest laugh on a night out. Why? What does he do?
Vincent, like you just don't expect him to do the things that he did. Because when you see him, he's like quite sensible. He's a smart one.
Surprised me that.
Yeah, but he knows how to let whatever hair he's got down. Yeah,
on the dance floor, a few drinks.
Yeah, he has a laugh. He has a right laugh. Nigel de Jong was good as well, to be fair.
Love that. Best player you played with at Chelsea?
Played with.
Because that squad, who did you have? JT, Lamps, Drogba, Joe Cole. I mean, it was just littered with amazing players.
Yeah, people forget about Deco was there as well, man.
Yeah.
Deco for me was unbelievable.
Who was the best in training then? Let's do it that way.
Deco was scary.
So of all those players, Deco was the best player you ever played with at Chelsea, technically?
I would say in training, technically. No, Hernán Crespo, I would say.
Hernán Crespo? They're the two that spring to mind.
Yeah, because they were just different. Like the way they played football was like I've never seen him shoot with his laces. But the goals he scored in training were just like pass here, pass there.
I think a lot of Chelsea fans would be surprised with you saying Hernán Crespo, bear in mind the other players you played with.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say they're necessarily the best. There was just something about them, the way I liked the way they trained and the stuff they did in training. But if you're going to say like best player, like, no, it's hard, man. Like Joe Cole was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So was Arjun.
Yeah. Joe Cole was a real sort of streets, won't forget, like a tech player, wasn't he? You don't see this unbelievably skillful player.
He was scary.
The epitome of a showboater, right?
Yeah, Joe Cole. He could give you the flair.
Yeah.
And we've seen him do it in big games as well. The Chelsea Man United game with the drag back and then through the middle.
Yeah.
He's that's a real hard one. Didier was just a beast.
Yeah, big game player.
And then you got Essien as well. Like everyone training was that intense at Chelsea that Mourinho pulled us in and said he's thinking about making us wear shin pads in training.
Really?
That's how like physical we trained at Chelsea. And that's how when you got Essien and John Obi Mikel in the midfield, like
I can imagine that.
They were like solid, man.
Wow.
And so everyone training was that high. There wasn't like, I would say, an individual that I would say was the best trainer.
But I love hearing stories like that about like Crespo, because I'd never have, unbelievable player, don't get me wrong, but obviously people who played in that era talk about the traditional names, your JTs, your Lamps, your Drogba. So it's great hearing that insight of players we might not know. And also goes to show how talented that squad is when there's other players that I'm not even thinking about that you go unbelievable in training. Like you forget how good Deco was.
He was unbelievable in training.
Was there any, who would you say was underrated then? Was there a player that you thought was underrated at Chelsea?
At Chelsea?
Yeah.
Wayne Bridge.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he gets as much
a good
accolades
shout,
as he
that.
deserves, to be honest with you. Like, I think coming from Southampton, he was unbelievable there. And his spell at Chelsea, he was unbelievable there. Obviously, he was unfortunate with the injury, I think, when he ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah. Also, obviously, Chelsea brought in Ashley Cole and they already had Wayne Bridge.
Yeah, but I can't remember the timing of when he came in. Whether it was him coming back off his ruptured,
but they were there at the same time, is what I mean. So, like, competition for places
was high. Always
really
was
high.
at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Strangest thing is this the same agent that brought him there, which I find the weirdest part.
Wow.
Which I find.
So Wayne Bridge's agent was also Ashley Cole's agent
at that present time. Yeah.
Why did you find that strange?
Because it's just like you brought one of your best left backs there.
Yeah.
There's other good clubs in the Premier League. You didn't need to double down. And like, you're kind of shooting your other player in the foot because, you know, Ash at that time, like Bridgie, as much of them saying he's underrated, Ashley was, in many ways, probably the best left back to this day I've seen in England.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a left back get close to what he was capable of and what he did. So you're kind of saying to your other client that, step aside and bring it.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so I found that all strange, but it's football, isn't it?
Yeah. In terms of best players you played against then, because I know you played against Ashley Cole, would he be...
They are the two that...
They are the two, yeah.
That used to get right under my skin.
Really?
Like, as a winger, like... Because they want you to... They're both very, very fit, first of all. And they take you into uncharted waters. Ash, I remember Ash would just run down. There'll be no more space for him to run.
Yeah.
I'm in line with the whole of the defense, even though I shouldn't be. I'm there because he's that high.
Yeah.
He'll see no, and then he would just start running across to the centre back area. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, guys, I cannot go in there. And they're saying you kind of got to. And then it's just always a game of cat and mouse between them. And Bridgie was the same.
Yeah.
They just used to annoy me.
Yeah, too. I can tell they did. Yeah, the way you said that.
There's a few times I kicked Ash and he would look at me and he would just say, he'd swear at me and I'll just run off laughing.
Love that. Go on, let's talk about the highlights then. Won the FA Cup, won the Premier League. Amazing moments, right? You must still cherish those moments now.
Yeah,
What was the FA Cup day like, final day? You started in that game?
Yeah, it was against Man United, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
You nervous in that game? Because I know that you laid back, I know you chilled, but starting an FA Cup final,
I still like
you must get a few butterflies there.
Yeah, you still have butterflies, but I try to take it in my stride because nerves, it can go negative real quick if you don't use it in the right way. So I tried to take it in my stride. But leading up to that game, because you've got to remember, Ronaldo was flying that year.
Yeah.
Like CR7 was doing like CR7 stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously,
he's flying most years, isn't he? Right. He hasn't had many bad seasons.
That year in the Prem, he was on stuff, wasn't he? And obviously, obviously Jose knows him really, really well.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and Ferreira, I think it must have been around a Wednesday in the week, and he said, listen, you two are starting in this game. And he said, if you two work together, and Shaun, I need you not to focus so much on attacking. We know you can defend as well because we've seen you. We've had you right back in training, so we know you can defend as well. He said, if you two can team up and talk and stop him, we win the game. That was his.
So the game plan for you in the FA, a big part of his game plan was you two stopping Ronaldo.
Yeah.
How did you react when he said that?
I said, no problem. Like, because you want to win it.
Yeah.
You're in the final. Like, and in many ways, I think it was my first final. So I'm like, it'd be nice to
get this over the line.
Yeah, get this over the line. So you do whatever it takes for your team to win. And that was a game plan. And me and Paolo, we got on really well, which made it easier. And we was very vocal with each other. We knew when to pass on, when not to pass on. And we knew how to work going forward as well. He would overlap me at the right times or be there in support. And we just had to shut up shop with him. And when you got Didier in the team, man, you know
his record, his finals record was insane, wasn't it?
It's scary. So you know you've got a chance. Yeah. And that's what we played on.
Yeah. I know you like to party. Good party that night when you won?
You can't work hard and not play hard back in the day. No.
Who partied the hardest that night, would you say?
All of us.
Yeah, really?
All of us, including physios and the staffs.
Yeah.
We all had a good old time. And then you had the bus tour in the morning, which is never the easiest. But but it was good. It was like, honestly, that team at the time, the togetherness and the bond we all had was frightening.
Yeah. And how does that compare to the Premier League? Winning the Premier League, winning the FA Cup. Like, can you separate them in terms of a highlight for Chelsea? out of the two?
I always put the Premier League on top
Would you?
of
Yeah.
anything. I think
It's so hard to win, right?
Yeah, it's consistency.
Yeah.
It's not a one-off game. You have to be at your best or win games even when you're not at the best for a period of 8 to 9 months. And Premier League's not an easy league to do that in.
Definitely not.
And I always say to people, even to this day, like, because people turn their nose up at like Spurs finishing where they finished. I'm saying they've done probably the hardest thing in football.
Totally agree. Winning a trophy.
That's winning a trophy.
And I'm a Spurs fan. That's an amazing
honestly,
season. I know the league form was bad, but we've won a major European trophy.
That's not an easy thing to do.
No.
Like, you've seen teams that probably in many ways were better than Spurs not win it. So I say winning a trophy, you can't take that for granted. So any trophy that you win, you have to just hold it up there. But like, and I also put it playing for my country, like my debut for my country up there is like one of the biggest moments because it's something you dream of. It's kind of the next step, isn't it?
Yeah. It brings me perfectly on to talk about England, actually. Making your debut for England, you alluded to it there. One of the proudest moments of you just said there, of your entire career.
Yeah, I'd put it way up there along winning stuff, I would say, because it took me nearly 2 years playing at a very high level, in my opinion, and trying to score goals and create chances and taking people on to break through into that England squad. It's never an easy thing to do, and it shouldn't be.
With that said, how do you reflect on, because you're saying there how important it was to play for your country, the competition for places you had at club level at Chelsea, which can hinder your international career. You see a lot of players now that want to maybe take a step down to play regularly to improve their England chances. How do you reflect on your time at Chelsea as an unbelievable positive one because you won those trophies, or were there challenges because you weren't playing as much as you like? Because I remember seeing at the time you were in and out of the team. So how do you look back on that period at Chelsea?
Incredible. I think, like I said, in football, you're always learning. You might not be learning the way you want to learn.
Because you wanted to play more, right?
Yeah, you always, it's football. Do you know what I mean? It's football. You're never not going to want to play more.
Yeah.
And you even look at, say, the Cities and Liverpool teams now that are rotating players. Those players, even though they're getting on with it, of course they want to play every game. That is just a footballer for you. Like a footballer that doesn't want to play every game, that's the one you should be worried about. So, it was tough, and there are other challenges, but you in football, you have to be up for the challenge, and I just was, and whatever challenge came my way, I just tried to face it head on and do what I could do to change people's mind or change the manager's mind.
That must have been such a proud day for your family, like your bro, your dad, especially because you come from such a football background, to make your debut for your country.
As you said, I'm quite laid back. Dad was more excited than me, just as he was when I signed for Chelsea.
Really? Did he cry when you made your England debut?
Yeah. And when he came after the game, he wanted to hug me and like all the other players around him.
Amazing.
Like, Dad,
trying to stay cool. Bex is over there, Dad. Play it down, son.
But yeah, no, but it's nice to have that. Like, it's nice to see the emotional side of your family when you get to those points, and to see the excitement and the happiness that you bring to people. And when I did get on the pitch, I just remember like how nice Bex was to me, like, because it's not easy to be that nice. And yes, I've played against him, but that was the first time I'd been with him at a camp or got to know him, and to come on the pitch and him say, look, you really deserve this, go out and kind of show them what you're made of, because I thought you should have started this game.
Wow.
Like, it is just
ahead of himself, he said.
Yeah, because it kind of gave me that, like, well, this is coming from, at that time, this coming from Beckham, who was the golden child.
Superstar.
Let's get right. He was going to play all the time. And rightfully so, he deserved it. But to hear him say that kind of spurred me on, and kind of
that's like, unbelievable, isn't it? Because that's a player that you're replacing. So you're, just to confirm, that was your debut. You're coming on for Beckham as a sub. Instead of him getting the hump, he's actually put his arm around you, said, you should be starting, good luck. So what was your relationship like with David Beckham, considering you played in the same position, and what was he like to you off the pitch then?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good in terms of the fact that he trusted and believed in me.
Yeah, it's class.
Like, that is what you want from your team, your teammates. Like, if your teammates don't trust and believe in you, the chances are you get the ball way less. And when I was playing, and wherever I played at the time, everybody in that team tried to get me the ball because like, they believed in me. And when you believe in your teammate, that helps you with confidence again. That makes you believe in yourself a lot more. That's
a class act, isn't it? He is a classy guy, I'm gathering, because I've heard you tell me stories about him before, about how he was with other people. And I'm right in saying, was he a massive influence on some of the younger players coming through?
Yeah, he was very good. And he was one that you would see, like, after training. And even at the World Cup 2010 when he was there, like we're obviously training, he's still trying, but you could just see his ability then. Like there's a small goal, I think the goal was about this big.
Yeah.
On the goal line, he's at the halfway line. The goal only stands about this high.
Yeah.
Back of the net without it bouncing.
Wow.
From the halfway.
Was he one of the best trainers in terms of work? Was he always out with a bag of balls
like
after?
Lamps was like that as well. Lamps was like, Gary Neville was similar. Like there was a lot of players like that, but those two with their technical ability was just, it's scary. He could put the ball wherever he wanted.
Yeah. How famous, give us insight into how famous Beckham is. So you're going on camps with him. You're going to the World Cup with him. Like how much of a global superstar are we talking about here?
Put it this way, I've seen grown women leave their kids at the roadside and run after the bus just for him to wave back. Yeah.
Just for a wave.
They brought the kids to see, but it's them. That's
Are you sure that wasn't for you or for Bex?
Definitely wasn't me.
Wow.
No, he's massive. And me and Defoe, we went to, when we was away, me, him and Defoe went to Adidas store. Because we were all Adidas at the time.
So you, Bex and Defoe.
And like, obviously nobody knew we was coming. We just kind of walked in.
Yeah.
But
it was like a pop-up event, one of those brown ones.
Yeah, we just decided, let's go to check out the Adidas, because it was, they did an Adidas original store at that time.
Okay.
And we was like, yeah, let's all go. Why not? We went in there, and obviously he's recognisable. They had to kick everybody out the shop. We couldn't get out. Somebody
the whole store they shut?
Yeah, they had, because it got too crowded. He couldn't move.
Wow.
Like, is it
like that everywhere he goes, do you think?
I can imagine so now, even now.
Were there did they have to put extra security measures in place then when you're travelling with England?
Yeah.
Just for him?
Yeah, with Bex,
give us an example.
At that particular time, yeah. Especially when we travelled to like either Azerbaijan or countries like that. Yeah, there was like security on every floor, including at the stairwells and the lifts.
And that's just for him, you think?
Well, it's for the other players, but more so people at that present time, like he was globally big.
Yeah. How do you think he dealt with that when you're in a tournament then? Because there's a lot to think about, a lot of pressure on him, right, as an individual.
And that's where I think, like, remember, I think he got sent off. I don't fit.
Yeah, the Argentina
fans
game
kind of turned on him. I didn't agree with what the fans did, because what he carried at that time was, in many ways, the weight of the country.
Yeah.
Along with, there was other fantastic players in that team, but everybody looked at Beckham, especially when it was a free kick or a set piece. They expected him to do stuff. So
you mentioned some of the players there, Neville, Beckham, that you played with, Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney. I mean, the squad was unbelievable. Why do you think that golden generation didn't win a major trophy?
I've never believed in the term golden generation in general. I think, yes, we had an unbelievable squad. So did France. So did Germany.
Brazil.
so did Brazil.
Yeah.
So you can't just say we've got a golden generation. When we have one, the majority of the other big, fantastic countries have a golden generation as well. And football sometimes is fine margins. And I think you've alluded to it off air when we were just talking about the 2010 World Cup. Lampard's goal gets seen as a goal. That game is a completely different game.
Oh, ridiculous decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a completely different game. And that is the small margins in football. And you can even go to when I think Harry Kane misses the penalty.
Yeah.
Small margins.
Yeah.
And that's sadly is football.
Yeah. Let's talk about that World Cup, because you were there, South Africa. I went as a fan to that, actually, 2010. There was a lot came out of that in terms of the players. And what was that experience like under Capello at 2010 South Africa?
The tournament in general, for me, as a dream for a kid.
Yeah, I bet.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. You want to play for your country and you want to try and help them win in a major tournament. I was lucky enough to be a part of it. It didn't go according to plan. But in general, it was mentally challenging in terms of, I think it was Austria we went away to. Then we came back after 10 days. And then by the time we left the Grove and went home, I think I went to see my godkids, and I was with my best mate, and I got the call. I had to be back there the next morning that I was in the squad.
Yeah.
So there's that excitement. Yeah. But then there's also like, I didn't even get to see like my family properly. Yeah. So then you go there, and then when we're in the hotel, your family couldn't come to the hotel.
Yeah. Why was that?
So there was just the rule. Like the only ones that got to see their family really were the ones that played golf, because they would go to the golf course. I didn't play golf. So
you could only see your family if you played golf?
Well, that's what it came across like. You wasn't allowed them at the hotel, and you wasn't allowed to leave the hotel, obviously safety reasons. So I do get that element of it.
Yeah.
But you just couldn't So we was just banged up in the campus.
So was Capello, it's fair to say, quite strict then?
Yeah, he was. It changed. It started that way.
Yeah.
And then it changed. It was quite funny because there was an incident where we weren't allowed to have a Coke after a game, or you couldn't have butter on your toast. You had to have olive oil. There was no ketchup on certain things. So it was quite tricky. And I quite like Capello. We got on quite well.
Did you?
Yeah, no, we actually got on quite well, to be fair. And then all of a sudden, after the first game, obviously we didn't win it, he's offering us wine.
Really?
At like dinner and stuff. And wine's gone down. And everyone's looked at each other like it's to say, no, I'm not touching that. This is a trap.
Oh, right.
No one wanted us, yeah, so nobody knew what to do.
So no one took the wine.
It kind of went from that.
Yeah, one extreme to the next.
Yeah.
And was it quite challenging in terms of, like, you said it was strict, you weren't allowed to go out, see your family. Do you think it could have been, more could have been done to allow the players to go out a bit, to see the sights?
Not necessarily
or
go
can
out
you
and see the
understand
sights.
why he was doing that?
Like, I wouldn't say necessarily go and see the sights, but if we have an afternoon off and we've got nothing to do, it could have been sorted that our family can come and see us at our hotel.
Yeah.
Like, just because I feel like it would have worked out nearly 6 weeks. You're there, not seeing your... It would be nice to have like a little switch off.
Do you think that's what Gareth did really well for England as England manager? It's not just what he did on the pitch, which is amazing, because
it's off the pitch.
But off the pitch, how he got the teams. Because am I right in saying when you were there were very much a Chelsea table, a Man United table, there were cliques, were there? And it's I feel like Southgate's done that amazingly with England, how it's sort of...
Yeah, I never really paid too much mind to like the clique. I've seen like a few older players
have said that,
yeah, I have seen that. But I never really noticed it because when I came through, obviously Rooney came through, I was always with like either Rooney, Defoe, Bridgie. So I never really thought of it like that. I never saw it. I think at the time when, say, Fergie was at United, like football was different then.
Yeah.
Like you're enemies, isn't it?
Big rivals. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. So I think it was completely different then.
Yeah. Best player you played with at England, go on.
I always say Stevie G.
So out of everyone in the golden, I know you don't like the term, but everyone in the golden generation, you felt Stevie G, best player of the lot?
Just for all different. I just felt he was an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Lamps was unbelievable. I thought JT was unbelievable. Ledley King doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, talk to
Ledley King was a beast.
Is Ledley King one of the most underrated players in Premier League history?
He was, for somebody that hardly ever trained and he could just do what he was doing.
Go on, how good was he?
He was scary. Like, he was scary good.
If he never had an injury to his knees, how good a player would we be talking about?
We'll be talking about him in the same class as, for me, as Rio and JT.
Really?
Yeah. And that's no disrespect to them, but I'd say he was up there. And he could play midfield as well.
Yeah.
Like everything that we're seeing, like John Stones do.
Yeah.
Ledley was doing that at Spurs. You could put him in midfield and he would still get man of the match.
Best player all the time for Spurs. I'd had a season then. He'd get man of the match, never train, get man of the match every game.
Honestly.
And the tackles.
He was scary good.
Wow. So would he be one of the best players you trained with, would you say?
Never trained.
Never trained?
Yeah.
When he did train, he must have trained occasionally.
Yeah, honestly, for England, maybe Friday. And Friday, the day before the game, you don't do much.
Yeah. Wow.
That's just
so Stevie G takes it. Go on that then, this is tough for you to answer, but 5 aside of best players you ever played with. Because you're talking City, Chelsea, England.
Smudger, I need subs.
Go on then. I need a couple of super subs. Let's give me a 5.
How many subs am I
Give me a 5, then you can do the subs. We'll cut them out the edit. You can have a couple of subs, yeah. Go on, let's get you. I want to know your best 5 of players you played with because the names are outrageous here.
I always find goalkeepers the hardest for me.
You don't need a keeper if you don't want.
So we have a sweeper keeper.
Yeah.
And I'd have Ledley.
Ledley King.
A sweeper keeper.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to jump. The strikers are so hard, but Rooney.
Yeah, got to be right.
And I'd have... See, I can get away if I got a sweeper keeper. I needed to pick one centre-back, don't I?
Yeah.
Lamps, Stevie G.
Oh.
And I need one more.
So you've got Ledley King at the back, Lamps, Stevie G and Rooney, and you've got one more.
I think I'd go Rio. Yeah.
So you go Rio and Ledley at the back, Lamps,
Stevie G. And Rooney.
Wow. What a team.
Where's my subs then?
Wait, go on. Got the subs? Who you got on the bench?
Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah.
John Terry. And me and Aaron Lennon.
Like it. So it goes to show how much you rate Ledley King then.
Ledley King. No, honestly, I watched him play against Argentina, and he came off the pitch and he said that was so bad. Me and Defoe looked at each other and said, "What are you talking about? You just marched Riquelme out the game." And he was a joke. He's so good.
Unreal. What was your best moment in an England shirt?
I'd say my debut.
Would it be your debut?
Yeah, scoring the goal.
Yeah.
Like, because it's almost like it's hard enough to score anyway.
Yeah.
To score on your debut is like, just for me, it felt like I've arrived in many ways. I've staked a claim, and then I've put an argument on the table for the manager of England to say like, he has to come, or who we swapping out. Like, I just wanted to cause a problem for the managers, so they had to think about, do we either need him in the squad, or he brings this, and that's kind of what I did in that game. So I'd really say that game.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love hearing that. And you also went to the States. There's quite an interesting story here. Obviously playing with your brother in the States. That must have been pretty cool. How did that all come about?
I weren't meant to be there, basically.
I know, it's a random story, isn't it?
I was going to my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
But I stopped off, like my other mate Vaz, I was part of a charity in Guatemala.
Right.
Where you go to help kids and help through school and stuff like that. And I just went to the wedding early. I was like, forget, there's no point coming all the way back to London. I said to my mate Vaz, you might as well just go straight to America, rent a hotel. And that's kind of what we did. And then I found out that Brad had a game in Texas against Houston. So we looked at each other. We both said, we ain't doing anything. We might as well go and watch the game. So we went to Houston to watch the game. Brother got some tickets and we was just watching the game. And then when we got back to the hotel, I was like, I swear that's a Red Bull tracksuit. Then we find out that they're in the same hotel as us. And then we had already booked our flights. And this is weirdest thing is I didn't even ask my brother what flight he was on or back or anything.
Really?
But the flight we happened to have booked, we sat down and the whole Red Bull team walked on. And
just
obviously,
coincidence, right?
Yeah, and then Jesse Marsh saw me. And Brad came up and he said, look, Jesse saw you on the plane, and he wanted to know what you thought of the game in terms of, did you see anything that he might not have seen? He said, would you talk to him when you get off? I said, yeah, no problem. Like, I'm here. And got off the plane and we was walking through Newark Airport and he just said, what do you think? So I just told him my thoughts and stuff like that. And he's like, I'd love for you to come in and train with her. So I just went in and trained. And then 4 days later, he said, like, we'd love to sign you. He said, look, I'll be honest, all my budget, and that's gone. But we would love for you to be here and play and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, and I said, oh, like he said, right, but we have no budget. I said, it's fine, just throw a green card in there.
Did you say that?
Yeah. And he said, yeah, we can do that because it helps us as well because then you're not a foreigner anymore.
Right.
You're classed as a domestic player, so they have one foreign space free again.
Okay.
So I did it that way and I got in. But it was so weird because me and my brother, before that, me and Bradley was like, maybe we was trying to plan the same thing that happened basically, but we didn't get a chance to execute any of the plan. It just kind of all fell into place. And then I just never came back to London. Yeah. Like, then the one time I came back was for my visa. That was it. Yeah. It's amazing that, isn't it? Yeah. And like, obviously the relationship with your bro and how it's almost like it was meant to be, right? That sort of story. Yeah, it kind of felt like that way. And because we had a spell like that together at City when he broke through. Yeah. And we was young. We didn't really like pay any attention to it or anything. But this time we kind of took it in. Yeah. Like, I just converted his basement. I lived downstairs for like the first part of the season. Like, and we used to just make music and hang out and play video games. Wicked. Yeah, and that was it. Really. And it doesn't end there. We spoke about your dad, your bro, your son and daughter are both involved in professional football as well. Yeah. Which is, you must be so proud about that. Yeah, I am, but I just want to be their dad. Yeah. I don't think about the football side of it. Obviously, they ask me questions, I answer it. But like more time, I just, how are you? When am I seeing you, son? Like, like that is kind of my vibe with them. Yeah. And how do you find now retiring from football and what you're up to in punditry? Like, how's that adaptation from pro footballer to not being a pro? Because it's obviously the perks of doing what you're doing is every kid's dream. The finances are great. But I think the tricky part looking from the outside is the age of retirement is just crazy, isn't it? How young a professional footballer retires. So how do you find that adaptation? I was lucky. I think in many ways, because I had one more operation in Arizona. And while I was having that rehab, Man City had contacted me and said, look, we know you're in America. Can you do some ambassador work for us? There's a tournament happening in California that we'd like you to be at to represent the club. And I kind of went over and did that. And then kind of one thing led to another. And then COVID happened and I got stuck in London. People couldn't go to studios.
Yeah.
And then there was Premier League was doing Zoom stuff. So I started doing Zoom punditry through.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just
went from
all
there.
fell into place, to be honest with you. I'm still learning the trade.
Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy punditry?
Yeah, I actually love it. I'm still learning. I think America helped me with it more than anything else because anybody would tell you, like, they say shy. I would say back then I was more reserved.
Right.
Didn't talk unless I had to talk.
Right.
Sort of thing. I would sit in a room with all my mates and just chill.
Yeah.
And just be quiet and observe. Yeah. But with America, everyone chats. They're always talking, aren't they? Right?
In America, they're always talking.
Honestly, it's weird. Like you'll get in a lift, somebody say to you, how's your nice day?
Yeah.
And like that kind of got me.
Sociable vibe.
Yeah, that kind of got me to talk a lot more. And I think that kind of helped me in becoming a pundit. Because if I'm honest, I didn't think punditry was for me because of, like I said, I'm not a talker.
Quite shy.
I wasn't a talker.
Yeah. So let's get your punditry hats on then. Let's end it by getting a few predictions. Who do you think winning the league this season? Premier League?
It's open.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
I don't think you can write anybody off. Like I said to people at the pre-season, I said, under Thomas Frank, Tottenham will be a completely different beast. And I think with Mbeumo and Cunha, even if Man United ain't playing well, they can win games now, which they couldn't do last year. Yeah. Like they can get away with
I agree
not
with
playing
both. I think
bad.
both will be infinitely better in terms of league form. I know Spurs won the Europa League, but I think they'll both be much improved. It's just
consistency. Like I thought Man United were unbelievable yesterday against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry that they didn't get something out of the game, but that is why we love football. Football is just strange like that. But in terms of the title, like it's Liverpool's to defend. But I watch City play Club World Cup. And I watched him play against, in many ways, a stubborn Wolves team. And they have players now that can, once again, unlock those stubborn defenders.
By the way? How good a player could we be talking about here, by the way?
I don't know how to explain him. Because sometimes it looks like he's not that quick. Yeah. But then when he gets on the ball or he's running, that third man late run into the box or in behind, he flies. And he is an amazing ball carrier. Yeah. He's just all over the place. I don't know. If you see his heat map the other day, I had to have a look. He's everywhere. Yeah. And he reminds me of a Gravenberch, but a better version of him, especially going forward, because he will risk past the ball. He tries to slide people in. You see his pass he played where he just scoops it over the top. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's a very creative version of Gravenberch. Yeah. But I think he's just got a little bit more X factor than him.
Shaun, I've absolutely loved this, mate. We've covered a lot. Any other unknown stories that you haven't divulged for the pod? Anything we wouldn't know about Shaun Wright-Phillips' career? Because I thought we've dived deep into Chelsea, City, England. We've covered a lot.
I always say, you guys know more about me than me.
You do. He didn't even know, this man, how many times he played for England.
I don't keep count.
By the way, when I asked you about the cut final, was it against United? Like you don't know.
No, I only know that one, like because I remember the story in the build-up to the game. Like I always tell people a story, like they've most probably heard it so many times. But against Spurs in the cup. Yeah. Where like I think I've told you it before, when I used to say Mourinho was always premeditated. And that week I've played in every cup game. Apart from that one, he comes up to me in the middle of the week and said, I'm not starting you in this game.
How did you react to that? That must have been a hammer blow.
Yeah, it was, because that's my showcase at that point to get back into the first team or to stake my claim. And he comes and does that and he says, but I got a feeling we're going to be losing this game at halftime, 1 or 2-0, but then I'll bring you on. We'll draw the game at Stamford Bridge and we'll go to White Hart Lane and win.
And just remind us what happened.
That's exactly what happened. We finished the game 2-2 and then we go to White Hart Lane and win.
Oh, was that game? That's incredible. So he predicted the entire setup, the result.
But it kills me. It kills anybody that wants to go to him and have an argument, because he's barely basically saying, listen, shut the hell up. I know what I'm doing, basically.
So that's the moment where you're not happy with him, but you've got to respect him, because a week later you're going, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you just got to suck it up.
It's an unreal story to end on. Just finally, what advice would you have for if there's young players listening to this that have had a pathway or that are trying to sort of emulate in your footsteps? We always end the pod with this. What advice would you have for people that are listening or watching to this?
Don't underestimate the hard work factor on a pitch, along with the talents that you have, accompanied by being able to take on the information that the manager and the coaches give you and put it out there on the pitch.
I love that. Shaun, I've got to say, what a guy. You've come down here on your own accord, got your taxi down. It's early. I think we've covered so much. I think it's been, every time we sit down, it's been a good laugh, isn't it? Have you enjoyed it?
Always have a laugh with you, Smash.
Love that.
Always the same.
Top man, mate. We'll get you back on soon. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.